What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak about a topic that Max Kellerman and Rich, what's his name? Rich Paul was talking. They brought up discussion. Well, Max Kellerman basically brought it up, and he said that he would trade Luka because he could get more front of more for Luca than he would Austin. And so now you got to think Luca was already traded by Dallas, and that's like when they traded him, that was unprecedented. Like for a player of Luca's stature to be traded, and as a matter of fact, that trade is what cost what's his name, Nico. That trade is what cost Nico his job because Anthony Davis couldn't stay healthy, and so Kyrie was out, and so the team wasn't doing well, and so they really just got rid of Nico Harrison, right? Which I think that's neither here nor there, but I think they should have kept Nico. But anyway, the fact that you are the caliber of player that Luca is, and they would move you around, it just seems to me like that would be a wake up call for a player like Luca. He already, at the end of last season, Luca already just went got into the gym and lost a lot of weight. And he came back this year, looking like he was serious about turning a new leaf and being a different kind of player. But now here you have Luca out there now. And although, he's in better shape than he was last year, but he's still not playing defense. He's not making an effort to play on defense. And unless you have like you put a whole bunch of defenders around Luca, then you're not really gonna it's not really gonna work because you can't have Luca and LeBron basically not playing defense at all. It's hard to hide one person, but when you're trying to hide two guys, then it's just hard. They're gonna pick on both of those guys. And Luca and LeBron just not playing no defense at all. But so and that was an interesting, you know, that was something interesting that Max Kellerman posed, right? Like to trade Luca because you'll get more. And I think that the fact, like I said, the fact that they thinking about this with this caliber player, you can't blame Luca can't blame anybody but himself because the coach JJ Redick challenged him to come back in shape, and he came back in better shape, but he's not playing better defense. I thought that over the summer when they kept showing him, I thought that he was going to have he just was going to have a better attitude, and he was going to take more control of his situation. But he is just not interested in playing defense, right? So let me I want to play this and give you some more of my thoughts on this situation. Play what what's the guy Max Kellerman was saying about Luca. Cause this is for this caliber of a ball player like Luca is, man. I just never seen, a guy just get traded like that. Let me see.
And box office is not. I'm trying to get them already.
No, you're not. You're not about to do that.
Let me
You're
say what
not
I
about
would
to do that, Max.
If I were the Lakers, I would give serious consideration to moving Luka, and I'll tell you why.
Oh
You are
my
going to get
God.
if you believe there's a redundancy, Austin and Luka. Luka's a better player than Austin Reaves. I understand that. Luka's a fantastic player offensively, but if
gonna
you
close
want to
the
win a
doors.
championship, I believe that your best player needs to be someone who is willing to at least play team defense, like Steph Curry. Bad defender. Steph's a bad defender, but he is a willing defender. It's not his fault he's not good at it. He's just built that way, whatever. But he's a willing team defender, so the Warriors can field championship teams. If your best player isn't that, very hard to win a championship. There is a world in which, if you're really trying to win a championship and you're the Lakers, you go, I can get Luka and Austin are redundant. I can get X for Austin. I can get 3X for Luka. You might consider moving Luka. This is me saying it. But do you agree with that, Rich?
Here's what I will say. I will say this, and this is complimentary to AR. If you were sitting here and you said, Rich, you take this one, I'll take that one. I'm not saying they're equal players, but what I am saying is, however you want me to start to then build the rest of my team, I'm fine either way.
With Luka or Austin. In other words, you have to choose one because they're redundant.
All I'm saying is I can build a team either way.
Now, number one, Rich Paul's saying that if you get rid of Luka and you keep Austin, then what you're doing is you are rebuilding the team. Because I like Austin, but Austin is not Luka at the offensive end. You know, he definitely Austin is a I don't know if he's a number two. He's a solid number two. I think he could be your second option. You know, a third. I think on a championship team, I would say Austin would be your third option, right? So, but if you make the decision to trade Luka, then what you're trying to do is you're rebuilding basically. So when Rich Paul said that I would be cool with taking either one of those, I wouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like best case scenario is keep Luka and try to put defenders around Luka because Luka is not going to play defense. But Luka on the offensive end is just so dynamic that maybe you might want to be you might want to build a team around, and that's the thing. Like Luka could be the same as the Joker is in Denver. Like the Joker play a little bit better defense than Luka, and he rebound and stuff like that, right? But you gotta have 4 defenders around Luka, and you can't have LeBron James out there with him, and you can't have I think you can keep Austin out there, but you need a number 2 scorer because Austin, in my opinion, would be your third option. So they need a better scorer. And that's the whole issue right there. You know, I think the head beside Luka, you need a number 2 player. Because you already seen in Dallas what happens, you know, when Luka has a number 2, like they made it all the way to the championship, Luka and Kyrie. And what stopped them was, I think, because Kyrie, you know, like the Celtics clamped down on Kyrie and they made it really hard for him to score. So that's you know, so you need a solid number 2 beside this guy. You know, and Kyrie's defense, you know, Kyrie not a bad defender, but as you know, Kyrie can get, you know, in the low post, he's a liability. You know, against bigger players, Kyrie is a liability. So you had Luka who wasn't playing no defense at all. Then you had Kyrie that was in certain situations, he was a liability. But if you get a solid number 2 player beside Luka, you already know what Luka is. You already, and that's anybody who get Luka knows that they're gonna have to put defenders around him, just like what Denver did. You know, with like I said, with the Joker, you gotta put some really, really good. You need at least 3 defenders on the court when you got Luka out there. But what he gives you at the offensive end, you know what Luka is, and I know it's probably frustrating. You know what you're gonna get with Luka. You know, that's just like I remember when Allen Iverson was with the Sixers, right? Now, Allen Iverson played defense, but again, at certain times on the court, in certain areas on the court, Allen Iverson was a liability. And what happened was, you know, like they put all defenders around Allen Iverson, man, and a strong rim protector, right? They wasn't able to get it done against the Lakers when they went to the championship that year, but it got it all the way to the championship. And I think that with Luka, they need to do the same thing. If I'm a general manager and I got Luka on my team, and I'm putting all athletes around him, guys who just going to, I mean, a whole bunch of guys who just, you know, guys who just going to protect the rim and make it hard for you to score. And we just going to be a physical team because Luka, I don't see to me. I just think it would be to give up Luka, man. I don't know. I mean, you know what you're getting, every ball player has a weakness. Like Max said, Steph is not a really good defender either, right? Steph is at least a willing defender, and I don't know if you put more defenders around Luka, then he'll try at certain times. But other than that, if Luka's on your team, and when you look at the talent around the league, I think that's just something that you'll have to live with. And as a general manager, that's something that you'll have to work around that situation. You know, as a coach, you got to work around that situation. Be like, all right, I know what Luka is. Luka not gonna really play tough. He's not really gonna play hard on defense at all. And yeah, but basically, if you get rid of Luka, then what you're telling everybody is that we're going into rebuild mode because Austin not gonna be able to carry the team like Luka did. Like Luka can. So that's my take on it. Maybe the Lakers will get rid of Luka, which I think will be. I don't think that'll be a wise decision if they get rid of Luka. But that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And with that being said, I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.